Well, Andy David is up here from San Francisco. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell us, as Alaskans, what can we do to support and assist Israel in keeping healthy and independent?
Well, I think that the relationship between Israel and the United States in general is very strong, very close, and the part of that Alaskan can play is just to support that, to continue to support that. It's not that there's any special problems or anything that need to be solved, but on the contrary, there are more things that we can do, more things that we can share. You have a lot of experience in, for example, mitigating natural disasters. We may have some other experience in meeting man-made disasters. So exchange in preparedness, water, treatment of water issues, and so there's a lot of things that we can do.
I know that a lot of Alaskans are concerned about the issue of Iran. One of our concerns is they will soon be flooding the world with oil that's going to be cheapening the value of our oil. You guys have a more immediate concern with them becoming a nuclear country.
Right. So Iran is a country that has put on their flag expansionism, bringing the revolution, the Islamic revolution, to all its neighbors and beyond. So we think that Iran is a threat to stability. So maybe in the short term, those prices may go down, and on the short term, it may look like Iran is behaving more peacefully, but we don't believe them. We don't trust that that's their goal.
They have a long history of not exactly being friendly.
Well, this regime has not been friendly, has said that the U.S. is the great Satan, Israel is the small Satan.
At least we trump you on being Satan.
Well, true, but part of it is because of our friendship. They see us as one, and they do not separate us. So what they're wishing for us, they're wishing for you. We have to be prepared. We have to understand that Iran can cheat their way to the bomb, or they can not cheat their way to the bomb by just waiting a little bit longer, and in 10 to 15 years, they're legally capable of spinning more centrifuges, stockpiling more fissile material, and going for the bomb. So this will create a huge instability in the region. Other countries in the region, like Saudi Arabia, like Jordan, Egypt, Turkey, have mentioned their intentions. If Iran's going to get a path to the bomb, they certainly want to have one for themselves. So imagine the Middle East with multipolar nuclear capabilities. That's very unstable and very worrying.
Now, we grew up here in Alaska with a very strong threat of nuclear war, with Russia as our neighbor, and the Cold War being so as frigid as it was, and Nike missile sites all over our places that people live. So we're the first line of being attacked in addition to the first line of defense. So we share the worries and concerns of what's life going to be like for our children if nuclear bombs go blasting. Iran is so close to Israel. Aren't they concerned about fallout, for example?
Well, one thing that we noticed in this agreement is that in 8 years, there's not going to be an embargo on intercontinental ballistic missile capabilities for Iran.
Now, that's a little bit concerning.
That's concerning, and just to remind people who are viewing this, Israel and Iran are on the same continent, so why do they need intercontinental ballistic missiles? So Iran is basically looking to create a deterrence balance with the West, with the United States, and that is exactly what we won't allow happening. We don't want that to happen. And you mentioned the Cold War. Hardly any American or Russian was killed by nuclear weapons, but how many deaths, how many casualties we had of conventional wars. Vietnam, Korea, in the Middle East, covert operations all over the world. So Iran arming itself, in 5 years, there's no embargo on conventional weapons, armament of Iran. And at the moment, if Iran has signed this agreement, and the US and the P5+1, then Iran will get a flow of cash that will allow them to stockpile sophisticated conventional weapons. So we think that this agreement is going to bring war to the Middle East, conventional and non-conventional, God forbid, and not defer war in the future.
And a country that has such rich reserves in oil obviously doesn't have a pressing need to move to nuclear, as Japan just showed can be very unstable.
Right. So it doesn't make any sense from an energetic point of view. We understand that some countries do want to have the capabilities, the research capabilities, and we think that Iran can be like Canada, like Australia, who have nuclear capabilities, peaceful ones, but they do not enrich. Canada doesn't enrich uranium. So why would they need to enrich uranium if all they want is peaceful usage of nuclear capabilities? So it doesn't matter how you look at it, it doesn't make sense. And the only sense it makes that Iran wants to be a superpower, a hegemon in the region, and they understand that if they will get that nuclear capability, they will buy themselves an immunity to any intervention.
Doesn't sound like a lot of fun. We've got to take a commercial break. Stick with us. We'll be right back in just a second.